All right, today, guys, we are going to multiply polynomials. This is on page 492 if you're following along in your book. And the first example is, again, that we're multiplying two sets of polynomials by each other. So that means that you have one monomial and another monomial, and you're going to multiply them. So first things first, we have 5x squared times 4x cubed. That means that we have to multiply the ones that are alike. So we're going to multiply 5 times 4 and x squared times x to the third power. So 5 times 4, x squared times x to the third power. 5 times 4 gives us 20. X 2, 3 gives us x to the fifth power. Next example is negative 3x cubed y squared times 4x y to the fifth power. Again, these are still monomials. Even though there's more than one term, they're still monomials. So I have negative 3 times 4, x to the third times x, y squared times y to the fifth. All right there. So the negative 3 times 4 becomes negative 12. X to the third times x becomes x to the fourth. Y to the second times y to the fifth, y to the seventh. And then this one I have 1/2 a to the third power b, a squared c squared, 6b squared. So my numbers are 1/2 and 6. My a's are a to the third power and a to the second power. B's b times b squared, and then I even have a c squared. So if I combine this, I get 3. Combine the a's, I get a to the fifth. Combine the b's, I get b to the third. C squared, nothing else. So it's by itself. All right, there are 3 problems there at the bottom. I'm again gonna pause so you can pause the video, write them down, and then come back and get the correct answers. All right, so hopefully you paused and you did these problems so that you could see if you are correct. We have 3x to the third power times 6x squared. 3 times 6 is 18. X to the third times x to the second is x to the fifth. So we get 18x to the fifth power for the first one. The second one, we have 2r squared t times 5t cubed. So we have 2 times 5. R squared is by itself. T times t to the third. So our final answer is 10 r squared t to the fourth. And then the last one, 1/3 x squared y, 12x cubed z squared, y to the fourth, z to the fifth. So we have 1/3 and 12, x to the second and x to the third, y and y to the fourth, z to the second, z to the fifth. So we end up with 1/3 of 12 is 4. Remember, if the 1's on top, you can say 12 divided by 3 is 4. X, 2 plus 3 is 5. Y, 1 plus 4 is 5. And Z, 2 plus 5 is 7. So that answer is 4x to the fifth power, y to the fifth power, z to the seventh. The next one. Remember, at any time if it's too fast, you pause, rewrite, rewind, whatever you need to do. So we have here, we're going to distribute now. So instead of just multiplying, we have the distributive property. So we have 5. It used to be you would just have like a binomial here. So here we have a trinomial. So it's going to be 5 times 2x squared plus 5 times x plus 5 times 4. So we end up with 10x squared plus 5x plus 20. And then here, don't forget KFC. If you're somebody who can remember this minus sign, you're getting good at that, then okay. But 90% of the time when students have a question, it's because they forgot a minus sign. So don't forget those. So this one is a little bit longer. It's a bigger monomial times a binomial. So I have 2x squared y times the quantity, 3x minus y. So that means I get 2x squared y, I changed it, sorry. 2x squared y times 3x plus 2x squared y times a negative y. May seem like an extra step, so that's okay right now, but that's how we get 6x cubed y, x squared x, negative 2x squared y squared. And then yes, if you are writing math correctly, you would want to go through and make that plus negative into a minus. Remember, plus negative and minus are the same thing. All right, so here's 2 down here for you to try. 2 times the quantity 4x squared plus x plus 3. And 5r squared s squared times the quantity r minus 3s. Pause your video, do those problems, and then I'll show you the correct answers. Okay, so the first one, we are going to do 2 times 4x squared, 2 times 2x, and 2 times 3. 8x squared, 2x, 6. So the answer is 8x squared plus 2x plus 6. Then here we have 5r squared s squared, all times the quantity r minus 3s. So we have 5r squared s squared times r plus 5r squared s squared times negative 3s. Notice I bring it down as negative. In the end, yes, it is the same as minus, but this will help you when we FOIL on the next example. FOILing is the next step, and it will definitely help you. So I have 5r to the third power s squared minus 15r to the second power s to the third. Don't forget to contact Mrs. Barter if you have questions.